Hey everybody, welcome back to Clear Talk. On this episode, we're going to go into what to do if you're in a company where your CEO lacks discipline,
why selling is everything in life and how you're going to get good at it,
and what's that one thing that if you focus on will overcome everybody's criticisms, their doubts, their challenges towards you, and it defeats all the odds and ultimately becomes your success in life. I'm going to share that in the show. Now, before we start the show, comment down below, what's the main thing holding you back from selling in your career, your business, or in your life? Enjoy the show. Welcome back to Clear Talk. I'm your host, Armin Shaffi, and this is my co-host,
Jeanette Oduro.
And this is the #1 show for entrepreneurs who need clarity on their business, their mindset, their philosophies, their strategies, their systems. And on this show, Clear Talk, you get to go to askarmin.com, post your questions so that we can answer your questions live on the show. Now, if you're watching on Facebook, do me a favor and hit that share challenge button. I want you to hit that share button and share this show with someone right now live so they can tune in, ask your questions, and get answered. And also drop a comment, let us know where you're from right now. And if you have a question, post it there and hit that little like button. If you're on Instagram, send this to someone, a DM to someone so that they can tune in on the live show and they can have fun with us as well. Every 12 p.m., every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern time, we go live so you can join us live for the show. And if you're on YouTube, by the way, go ahead and hit that subscribe button with that little notification bell. So if you want more content on how to succeed as an entrepreneur, how to develop your mindset, become a leader, and if you're a coach, I got some free valuable trainings coming your way. So hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of them. So Jay.
Hey.
What happened? The last show was our 6-month anniversary show, 6-month anniversary show.
Yes.
And you were my co-host.
I was.
And it was a 2-hour show. Okay, 2-hour show. And then we got such good engagement on it. We got such good feedback. I'm like, why not make it a thing? So moving forward, meet your Clear Talk co-host.
Woo! Awesome. Back by popular demand,
Oh.
I was requested, so I'm here. No, I'm just joking. I'm totally honored to be on the show from now on. I'm really, really excited.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So it's going to be pretty similar. What's going to happen is you're going to read my questions here.
Yes.
So you have it there, but I don't know what they are. And then we just bounce back and forth, do what we do best.
Yeah. I love it.
So the show's going to be great, guys. I hope you can buckle up, have some fun. Every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, we go live for an hour and we answer all these questions. But then you can catch the recorded episode on YouTube where you're watching it right now on YouTube. You guys can catch on the recorded episodes on, if you just go to YouTube, put Clear Talk with Armin, and my playlist will show up and the actual channel will show up. So you guys can get your questions answered if you want. And it's pretty much thousands of dollars worth of free coaching mixed with humor, entertainment, and education. Pretty much, that's what the show is about, and we want to help you guys out. We don't make any money from this. I don't sell advertisement on this show. We don't do anything to make money. We just genuinely want to do a show where people can ask questions. We answer your questions, and if you want some help, you get some help unbiasedly and from two people that have had their fair share of experiences in business. So, you ready to go into the show? I don't know if you have your own little thing you want to do, or
I don't know. Honestly, no. I think hello is fine.
Hello. It's me. When you grew up, back then, when you grow up,
yeah.
What's your goal? Share with everyone so that they know how crazy it is that you're here right now.
Well,
with the part of it that's relevant.
Yeah. Well, my goal originally was to just be Oprah. Oprah was my obsession for a while. I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to get into marketing and kind of have a talk show and everything like that. So that was my original goal. And then since then, it's thus changed to obviously operating a personal development company alongside Armin Shaffi, getting my life coaching certificate as well as my health coaching certificate, and just being able to help people from any type of platform, whether it be a stage, whether it be online, whether it be in person one-to-one. So just trying to advocate and make people's lives better.
Which is crazy. If you visualize what you want, you write about it, you just fantasize about it, the universe brings it to you some way or another.
Yeah.
It's because you wanted to have your own show. When you even first wanted to work here, we talked about this on the last episode. you wanted to like build your own business and have a show and become an influencer. I'm like, I didn't plan for this. I didn't do this because she said it, but subconsciously, obviously, it all happened where she's now in the show with me, and this is like your beginning steps to building your own influence, your own brand.
Absolutely, yes.
Which is cool.
I'm so excited.
Well, you're gonna do the other hand the whole time.
I know.
Oh wait, hold on. Okay, there we go. All right, what's the first question?
Okay, our first question comes from Leilani Sales.
Hey, Leilani. By the way, fun fact, do you know who Leilani is?
No.
Leilani is?
No.
Leilani, like 6 years ago, where did she... Okay, so here's the fun fact. If you're watching this, by the way, Leilani, I still remember. It was like 6 years ago. She was working at a phone center somewhere.
Okay.
And she was helping me on the phone for something. I forgot what I called for. But she was a sales rep in a telemarketing center. And I was talking to her, and I loved how well she did. Then I'm like, can I follow you on Facebook or something? Can we become friends?
Wow.
So this was like 5 or 6 years ago, and we became friends online. And she started following my work. And then when I started Reboard,
yes,
she was like trying to live stream, watching all my Facebook lives, and it was crazy. So she's been following me for like 4 or 5, 6 years now at this point. But I still remember you, Leilani. I still remember you. I put Leilani Sales. Is that her last name?
it might be Sales, but it's like I'm assuming it's Sales.
Is it?
She put in Sales.
It might
It's
be
either
Sales.
Leilani or Sales. Maybe.
She put in Sales. Oh, that's crazy.
I mean, yeah.
That's pretty. I'm just saying that's epic. So yeah. Anyways, we had an interesting way. I wish Leilani, if you're watching, comment where where you were working when I called, because I want to know. I want to remember. It's bothering me. And I want to remember where I called, where she picked up the phone, she handled me as a customer. It was somewhere, and I'm like, you have such a great personality. So your tone of voice is amazing. Like, let's be friends. It was like, yeah, crazy time. So what's her question?
Her question is, this might be an unrelated entrepreneur question, but have you ever had to work with a company owner who has had the passion of an entrepreneur but lacks the discipline of one? If yes, how were you able to do it?
So you're working for somebody that you don't respect. You're working for somebody that you don't respect, and you don't know how to deal with it because you obviously think he lacks discipline, but he wants to be a company owner. I guess I have so many questions back. Like, is it a startup? Because that changes the answer. If it's a startup, you have to think about the fact that the person is going to have to be learning. They're not perfect yet. If it's a startup, then that means they're trying. So you have to be more of a leader on your own self, take an initiative without their call to actions with you, because they still haven't matured into a CEO for real. If it's a bigger company and you work for a company where you don't believe in their values and their culture, and the CEOs, whatever, has their own issues, and then leave. Find somewhere where a company you match with. Like, find a company where you feel happy when you work there because the culture is good. Happiness is in employment or in careers or in professions or in businesses. Happiness and joy doesn't come from what you're doing there. Like, I've met front desk clerks at real estate offices that are happier than the executives of another company.
Yeah.
It's not what you do in the company that makes you happy. It doesn't bring you joy. It's the culture, it's the environment, it's how you receive being there. So it doesn't matter really what you're doing. What matters is you're a part of something. And the thing that you're a part of should be what's fulfilling you. Because if you're in a company, for example, like I know people that worked in like financial recruitment companies. That's such a odd thing. There's how are you gonna find passion in recruiting financial people for companies, right? It's like a recruiting firm for financial positions. And I'm like, that's so kind of plain, right?
Yeah.
But the culture is amazing. The culture is great. I'm talking about a friend that told me she worked here. The culture was amazing. The everyone was so good to each other. There was team activities. There's so much culture there that she was so happy. I'm like, what do you do? She goes, literally, like, I just prospect for people that couldn't. She explained her job to me. I'm like, that sounds really boring. But then I'm like, you're so happy. Why are you happy? Because the culture of the company, the leader of the company was so great. And when did things fall apart and this person left is when the CEO was either replaced, I think, or they just changed because they brought different management in, and the culture was ruined. So the culture of a company is what brings your emotional satisfaction for being there, aside from what you do. So if it's a startup, it's going to be different. If it's a bigger company, then obviously find a culture that fits in. But the question specifically, Jay, is what do you do when you work for somebody that has the spirit of an entrepreneur but lacks discipline? Well, you can't do anything. So your job is the question back to you is, what do you want to do? Imagine you can't change the person. Now make decisions. I think most people who struggle with relationship issues, whether it's business relationships, intimate relationships, family relationships, is you consider the reality where you could change them. And so now you become very, very much bothered because you're thinking the possibility, the small chance of hope that they'll change one day. So how do I deal with it until then? No. You're doing this all wrong. Backtrack. Start with they'll never change. And if you know they'll never change, I'm not saying they can't change. They can't. People can change if they desire to themselves. But you can't make them change. I mean, very rarely do people make someone else change, but how long does that last? Was it that effective? Do they lose things in the process? Yes. So imagine you work somewhere with someone and they will never change. Now make up your mind on what you want to do with that situation. Like, do you want to leave? Do you want to stay? Is it worth it? Is the pros better than the cons? Is the cons worse than the pros, right? At least that's my perspective. What do you think?
Yeah, so I think ultimately Armin said it.
Share your own experiences too. I'm sure you.
I absolutely am about to. Yeah. So Armin said it kind of in the beginning, right? If they lack discipline, that ultimately the baseline is that you don't respect them. Like, you don't respect their work ethic. And I think that naturally you have to ask yourself if you are willing to work for someone that you don't respect or that you don't think has your best interest at heart, right? Like, if you are working for a company, whether they're the CEO or whatever, they are the leader, right? So you have to acknowledge whether you are ready to be led by this person. If they lack discipline, which is probably the number one thing you need to be able to achieve success and run a successful company. So if they lack discipline, they're pretty much lacking the one thing that they actually need to make the company successful, where you can ensure that they have your best interests at heart, right? And I've worked for many, many companies in the past, in addition to building companies. And the thing that happened with me in my early days, my friends would always joke about it, like, Jeanette can have a job. Like, she'll just quit because the moment that I sense, like, I don't like the leadership or anything like that, I'm like, I'm out. I'm not dealing with this. Because I held myself to a pretty high standard, and naturally, if the leader of this company isn't doing the same, I have to leave, right? Every single time I stayed longer than I should have, I always, like, was approached with some issues, and I was like, I should have left sooner. I knew it, and I should have left sooner. So, I would say leave, honestly. Like, if you think like this, it's likely only going to get worse. And like Armin said, you're not going to be able to change them. They have to be willing to change themselves. So I would leave.
And it's interesting. And she's had her fair share of experiences with just like leadership, right? And I'm very similar, where if I lose faith in the leadership, I just lose faith. It's very hard for me to continue. I don't know, like, even for money, I can't do it. That's why I was stuck in a job, because if I don't believe in what we're doing, it doesn't matter how much you pay me. I'm going to do a terrible job. Yeah. And I will leave. Like, I'd rather be broke and peaceful at night knowing that I believe in my virtues, my values, than to be paid to pretend like I care about yours and I don't believe in what you're doing and I don't believe that you deserve what you have. But it's a good thing, Leilani. Like, I'll tell you something. You might have the entrepreneurial spirit in you. Just having this like perspective, it might be within you to start your own company. And what I'm telling you, like, I'm trying to inspire you here. Somebody who looks at leadership, genuinely looks at it and goes, well, you could be doing better, there's all these things you need to do better, you're really just indirectly saying, like, if you were in their position, you'd probably do better. Well, if that's the case, then challenge yourself with that. Go ahead and start a business. And you know what's funny? Sometimes you go and you realize you understand why they were being that way. Sometimes you go, it makes sense that they were like that. It's so much pressure, for example. Or you might just do a better job and you change other people's lives that work for you and they won't last long. So like, I've met people that I can tell in their mindset, if they had more people working for them, they would treat them terribly. Because I could hear the way they think about people. I'm like, oh, I have these people that work for me, yeah. Like, tell them what to do and I make money. I'm like, what? Like, obviously, if I had my way, I wouldn't want this person being successful at all.
Yeah.
When I see a person has terrible, like, attitude or mindset or just their belief systems are poisonous, I really hope they're not successful. Because if they are, they'll abuse it. And they'll hurt people along the way. And it's not my job to say that. It's just my belief about it. But I will say this. Those people grow. Luckily, if they do grow, they become good leaders because they realize the difference between a bad leadership and good leadership. And I've been in bad leadership myself before, where I didn't really know how to handle it. And when I handle people and manage them, when they worked with me, I was bad at it. So it turned into my strength. Remember this saying, your greatest weaknesses often turn into your greatest strengths. There's a lot of things I used to suck at that I'm amazing at today, and that became my personality. It became my character, which is good. So if you see that you believe in discipline and your leader does not, then go and challenge yourself to create your own environment where you're disciplined. Now, I'm going to bring it back to you, though. Because another rule of thumb is most people who have issues with other people barely look at themselves. And so I'm not trying to put the blame on you. What I'm saying is if you see fault in others, sometimes, not all the time, sometimes it's very ironic how the universe works is it's just a reflection of your own issues. So ask yourself this question. If you look in your own life, are you lacking discipline? If you're lacking discipline, you're going to be really bothered when you're working for someone that lacks discipline because they're just showing you on the outside how bad it looks like that what you're doing. And I've had the situation as well. I used to be very insecure, and I work with people that were very insecure, so I hated when they were insecure around me. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, believe in yourself more. Like, you're not even confident or whatever. And I realized I'm just the one that's like that. So if that's the case and you're being honest with yourself, then you develop your own discipline on every area of life, and do not BS yourself. Go acquire the discipline, develop the discipline to achieve the goals you want in your life, fix the problems in your personal life. And then you might inspire that CEO, because if you're working in the company and they see you change, that might inspire them. Or you might filter them out of your life and find someone worthy of your fellowship or leadership, which is my answer. But great question, Leilani. I'm so happy you asked it. And it's so cool that like 5 years ago, it just blows my mind. Like we're friends from a phone call. From a customer service phone call.
When salespeople are good, man, they're good.
I don't even think she was in sales.
Just customer service.
Just because her last name is sales, and I think I remember her saying that. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Yeah, it's crazy because like it was a customer service, and she handled me so well. I'm like, oh, you're making my heart melt. You're so good, you know those people, those customer service reps.
Absolutely.
I'm like, we gotta be friends. I think back then I even offered her a job or something like that. I was like, so like, do you want to work?
Of course you did.
No, I'm like, so like, what do you get paid where you're working? Like, can I hire you? And she's like, I'm sorry, I love what I do here. I'm like, oh, okay, no problem, but can we be friends? So it's crazy that you come out and you ask the question. I'm so happy. Ask more questions. That was a really good question.
Thanks, Leilani.
Hope the 3 or 4 different answers help you out with clarity.
Awesome. Question number 2. So this question is actually from Abdul. I believe he asked the question last week. Yeah. So this is a long one. So thanks for answering my questions on Instagram Live. Much appreciated.
No problem, man.
What are some things I can do now as a 17-year-old to generate wealth? I was thinking to go all in starting my own web design business, where I create professional websites for local businesses, then scale from there. Although I'd enjoy that, it wouldn't be my passion. I like sales, understanding people, interacting with people, and performing. What are your thoughts on all that? And it was Usman. Usman_Enzel.
I remember him from last week's show.
Yeah.
He's a 17-year-old.
17-year-old, yeah.
Who was talking about coaching questions.
And NLP, yeah.
Yeah. Read the last part of this question again.
So basically he's saying he wants to do a web design business.
Yeah.
But that's not his passion.
What's his passion?
His passion is sales, understanding people, interacting with people, and performing.
So get into sales. You're acting like sales is a lower profitable opportunity to go follow as your passion than a web design business. Get into sales. Sales is a very high profitable profession to get into. You know, pick up a Tom Hopkins book. He's one of the greatest sales mentors in the world, in history. Learn from Tom Hopkins, learn his books, learn from whatever. Get good at sales and go get a sales job somewhere. Listen, I started in sales. Here's a rule of thumb with sales. Make sure you find a product that you believe in. Okay, don't start selling things you don't believe in. It'll chip away at your soul. You know, when you sleep at night, you're like, I'm selling something that is not really meaningful in people's lives.
Yeah.
So make sure you choose. So first of all, my answer is get into sales. If that's your passion, you'll understand people there. They'll teach you how to understand people. They'll teach you how to communicate. They'll teach you how to influence and persuade. They'll teach you everything about psychology, because in sales, your mindset is everything. If your mindset's crap in sales, you make less money. If it's great, you make more money. So in sales, it's a really cool personal development process, because you can't get really good at it without bettering yourself, genuinely, you know? And that's not always true. Like, I know salespeople that have terrible personal lives, but they make a lot of money. Well, in that case, I'm saying that person ultimately lost. I'm just saying, with people that are super successful and personally happy, sales was a huge factor of that. Here's some pieces of perspective. Make sure you choose to sell something you believe in, or at least it helps you. So you're a product of it, so you love it. Make sure you believe in the people you're learning from there. The leadership must be clean and pure. If you are learning sales from, sketchy leadership, you might get the wrong impression of sales. And sales can go either way. Sales goes black and white. It either goes, you're helping people genuinely change their lives because you have the ability to make them make decisions and buy what you're selling so that it can help their life, right? Which is the kind of sales I'm into now. Or, and this is the kind of sales I used to be into, you're just getting really good at just tricking people into believing what you're saying so that they buy what you're selling so you make money. And it's like, it really goes black and white. There's no middle ground. No one's like sort of benefiting selfishly off sales. It's either they just know, they don't really care about the person, they're just really good at making the person pay, or they really care about the person and they make sure, it's like a coaching session, more of a sales session, that they make up their mind and make the right choice. So I've sold a lot of things in my life in the last 8 years, from $14 products to $10,000 products. And every single time, I'll tell you this, I've sold more, made more, and felt better when I did it behind something I believe in. Yeah. But you've also been in sales too. So what's your perspective if he gets into sales?
Yeah, I started in sales as well. Did sales for 18 to 24. Pretty much, you're always selling anyways. But
pretty much, I've been selling for
since I was born. But yeah, after my first job at McDonald's, I went right into sales after that. And I would say the same thing as like Armin with your answer. Like, you got to go into sales if you want to learn about yourself, if you want to learn about other people. Sales is your it's your playground. It's where you're going to learn everything, and it's absolutely a reflection of yourself. Like, I used to knock doors. Armin used to knock doors as well. They always said the door is a reflection of you, right? Mm-hmm. If you're about to knock a door and make a sale, like, it's all about how you are presenting yourself and what you're going to bring forth to the table. So absolutely, the answer is get into sales. I mean, if you want to do web design, if you love it, do it. If you don't love it, don't do it. If he sells
web design, you get best of both worlds. If you're good at web design, build a business, sell web design. But you got to learn how to sell. You think if you start a business, you don't have to learn sales? You have to learn. If you don't learn sales in business, it's like way worse. Yeah. So you got to learn sales to build a business. I mean, my friends who are watching, if you're all like, if any of you are watching building your own business and you're like, oh, I really don't like sales. I feel weird about sales. Stop now. Stop now. Do not build a business. Yeah. There is no way around selling, especially if you start your own business. Yeah. Could you get away with doing things in life that doesn't require you to sell? Yeah. Because it doesn't matter what you're doing, you got to sell yourself. You got to sell your ideas. Selling is just a matter of persuasion. Yeah. It's just a matter of influencing others. Sales is just your ability to come to an agreement with another person. Yeah. But you want in sales for them to agree with you. That's pretty simple. Like, if you can't get people to agree with you, you can't get married. You can't raise your kids properly. You can't get a job anywhere. You can't get yourself to do anything. That's all sales. If you wake up in the morning between going to snooze and getting up, it's a sale. That's the first sale of the day. Right? Like, you wake up and like, am I going to get up or am I going to sleep again? That's a sale.
Sleep sold you.
Exactly. You know? If you don't close the customer closes you. Right? Like, if I used to train salespeople last year, and every time they would make a sale, they hang up the phone, I look at them, I'll be like, what happened? And they'd be like, well, this is what, they give me the reason that they didn't buy, and I go, oh, so they sold you. Because, listen, the customer, right, you're both selling. You call a prospect for web design, for sales, whatever it is you're selling. You call them, you go, hey, here's why I want you to do this thing, and it's good for you. And you're trying to convince them to buy. And they go, well, here's why I don't think it's a good idea to buy. That's just their excuses, their roadblocks, their issues, whatever it is, that the reason that they're not paying. The money is never an issue. Money's the last thing that's ever an issue, ever. Unless you're talking to people that literally have zero money, on welfare, homeless, like that, money's never an issue. Everyone has access to money, or they have money. That's never, I've been selling for 8 years. The times where I thought a person doesn't have money, out of nowhere, they got money somewhere. I'm like, yeah. So it's just a motivation issue. Like, they just had to be convinced that it's worth the money that they got to go find and pay for this. But at the end of the call, it's like, you either were the one that got sold on why they shouldn't do this, that they can't, or they got sold on why they got to make it happen, and they do. At the end of the day, it is over. Yeah. That is what it is. And selling is everything. Like, if you want to make a woman or a man fall in love with you, it's a sale. Don't you think it's a sale? What's a marriage? That's a sales meeting. That's a marriage. That's a wedding. It's a sales meeting. Yeah. Is it?
You sign contract.
You sign contracts. It's a sale. Is it not? Listen, what happens? You call you prospect someone, a prospect, the lead, you start talking to them, nurture them over years. Maybe it's a big client, right? Over years, you date with them. You send them gift baskets and, hey, how's it going, buddy? Like, how's the sales going in your business? Do you want that training I was offering you? You follow up. Eventually, you get on a call, you start dating each other, you start talking, answering the questions, overcome the objections, you give a little bit free, go the extra mile, go into the place, and you start doing some free trainings for them. You get a lot of free stuff out there. You give, nothing in return. Yeah. Then one day you go, will you marry me? And you put a ring on that finger. And they say yes. And you show up to the wedding, Okay, I just went from selling something to like a wedding. You show up to a wedding, guess what happens? You sign marriage papers. You go through a ceremony. What do you think that is? A sales meeting where they're closing the agreement and they pay you the check. It's the same thing. So your whole life is sales. You can't be afraid of sales. Anyone who's afraid of sales, it's because it's like an insecurity. It's a fear. If you don't like sales, it's because you just are afraid of like, it's just a low self-confidence issue. Like if you have confidence in yourself, you're not worried about sales. Like you know, if you're confident in your own abilities, people will want to like listen to you and want to work with you. If you're not confident in yourself, sales is the greatest exorcism of your life. Okay, you go through if you're a low self-esteem, low self-confidence person.
Yeah.
If you lack like courage in life, sales is the proven exorcism process.
Yeah.
You will bring all your demons out through sales because sales will challenge you. Like you don't get paid, you don't eat food, you don't pay bills until you do good at sales, and you can't do good at sales until you master all that crap inside of you. And so that's why it's such a fast track way of personal development. Now, is it always like that? No. You can get into sales, learn all the wrong values, learn the wrong things. You might just look at money and just be money hungry and not look at the deeper part of it, which is you're growing yourself. That's also true. I'm not saying sales is the holistic way of growing yourself. I'm just saying it could totally be. And that's how I did it. That's how she did it. That's how Isaiah's doing it right now. Sales can be the greatest training process of your life. Because, like I said, if you don't have a positive attitude, if you don't have persistence, if you're not on all the core things of personal development, you won't succeed. You won't last. So, you know, if you're starting a business for web design, go sell. If you just want to get into sales, go sell. You're really young, man. I would not be thinking about building a wealth fortune. You know, all these, unfortunately, network marketing has put these ideas in very young people. Like I was one of them. I was 17. They're like, you're going to be rich. And I'm like, I'm happy they made me think big. But they made me delusional. Like they didn't teach me the core principles, the foundations of life, which is to develop experience and skills. I didn't learn that. I thought if I'm just the way I am, I can do this thing and follow the roadmap and recruit these people and I'm going to be this wealthy person. But I realized like as I went through all the stuff I went through, if I was focused from 17 till now on just gaining experience and skills and growing myself, I would have been richer way faster. Because I would have turned into the person that deserves the riches and it would have came to me in some way, shape, or form. I would have earned it faster. But because I spent a lot of years out of the last 7 years of my life, I spent a lot of years trying to find shortcuts to like not growing myself, just figure out the results. Then I wasted a lot of time. So you're 17. My greatest, if I was talking to my 17-year-old self, I would say this: go pick up books, go buy courses, go find someone that is successful in your field. And just work for them for free. Intern for them. Like help them out. Do as much as you can. Be around them. Surround yourself with people that have what you want and are who you want to become like. And just learn from them. And don't worry about making money. Like you're 17. Unless you're living on your own and you have a car and or kids, like you don't need to worry about making money. Money is just for in the beginning, just to pay the things you need. After that, it's just to have the options to do things. But at your age, what things are you going to do with money? I promise you this: it's all going to be wasteful. There's nothing intelligent you can do with money at that age. What can you possibly do? Unless you have filled your mind with the wisdom of things that money can do, that's different. And that'll come with time. So when I made my first $100,000 4 years ago in a year, it was like in 8 months. It wasn't even a year. In 8 months, I made $105,000. I'm like, I had no idea what to do with the money. It all left. I wasted it all. Like I spent it. Luckily, I spent like most of it on courses. And I bought really highly expensive courses, and that's where I learned a lot of the skills that got me more of the money I made today. But most of it I didn't know what to do with. I was almost like, what do I do now? Like, and it was such a small amount of money, but to me, it was like everything because I had no expenses.
Yeah.
So just don't worry about getting rich. Like, don't think about getting rich right now. Become like growth conscious, not money conscious. Growth conscious.
Where's my fire?
Growth consciousness is like you are genuinely and sincerely always. I say it with the fire emoji behind us. You are genuinely and sincerely always seeking the opportunities to grow yourself and learn more and develop yourself and learn more about yourself and others. Just go into an obsessive state of growth and learning and helping others, contribution. Just those two things, growing and helping others. Combine those two for the next 5 years of your life. By the time you're 23, man, making money will be like drinking water for you.
Yeah.
Because money is just a result of all the stuff of your own personal value, which is your intelligence, your knowledge, and your experience and skills. That's your personal value in the marketplace, and what you've done for others and the service you provide. That's what I would say to you. So don't worry about this. Just follow the passion at the very least. If you love sales, like find sales and do that. there is no reason why you should do something you don't like right now. You have no risk to try things right now for the next 10 years. Even if you just tried a bunch of things and never got anywhere with it, you have 10 years of experience and you're only 27. Only 27. You understand what that means? Do not also surround yourself with people that say that they're old at 30. Those people have issues. Okay, do not be around them. I heard the other day from a 30. It was like 34. I don't even know. He was like less than 35. He goes, it's not the same as what I used to be, because if I go really hard or something and work or something, it puts a strain on me. I've gotten old. And I listened to him. I'm like, dude, you have no concept of age. You have no concept of age. What 34 is not old.
No.
You're a child. Do you understand? You're a child. Do you get until the fact that you're like 50, you're not even a man yet, really? Until you're 50, you're not really a man. At 40, you just start to mature. At 30, you think you're mature. At 20, you're an infant. Like,
baby.
I feel like I'm still crawling in life. Like, I haven't done a lot yet. That is a true statement. Like, that's real. And if you ever find someone who's like 20 to 40 saying that they're old or this or that, they have zero concept of age. Go and study the greatest people in history. Specifically men I've studied, obviously, because in the 1900s, most of them were men because of the way the culture was. Most of them got most of their achievements between the ages of like 40 and 70, and most of them actually between 50 and 70. Okay? Nothing happened before 40. Nothing. So, you're young, man. And you're going to be young for a long time. We good? We have comments?
said you have to be 18 to apply for all the sales jobs. So
that's not true.
What do you think?
No. I was 15 when I got a sales job door to door, man. That's not true, man. Yeah, it's not true, bro.
Keep looking.
Yeah, like
Keep looking.
Listen, there's sales jobs where you could work. They'll let you work.
They will let you.
And if it's legally you can't work anywhere for 18, let's just say this, which is not true. Let's say nobody's gonna take you because you're 17. Go work somewhere for free. Don't take any commission, just work.
Yeah.
Be like, train me guys on selling. I'll be off your books and I'll make you free money. They will take you, trust me.
Absolutely. They will, yeah.
Door to door is a great place to start because there's not a lot of strictness with door to door.
No.
Yeah. So, yeah, bro. Anyways, my point is just gain experience, man. This whole creating, was it like I want to create wealth?
Yeah.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Get this build wealth thing out of your head. Like, this is such a fad. First of all, wealth you will never taste until you've grown yourself to such a length that you have like influence in your own life and in this world. Like, wealth is like one of the last steps in this journey of growth. This is nowhere near, like, you shouldn't be worried about wealth. And when people say legacy, like, okay, but like legacy for what? You're 27. Like, what the hell are you talking about legacy for? Right? And my mentor, he says, like, legacy is a sexy word. It's just nice for marketing. But really, the concept of legacy, what is this? Legacy, you think Napoleon left a legacy? You think he cared? You think Napoleon Hill when he died? To this day, he's been dead for almost, 50, 60 years now. We still talk about him. Jesus, I'm just giving an example, not religiously. 2,000 years later, we still talk about him. Muhammad, Buddha, like, I guess you could say that's a legacy. Why on earth are you striving to do that? Do you understand their lives? Do you understand what they sacrificed to do that? Like, believe me, if most people understood the price it costs to leave a real legacy or wealth, like generation, all this stuff, that would be these big words people use to express how big they think, you would be terrified of the kind of price you pay for that kind of a legacy. Personally, I'm just giving my personal. I'm not putting that down. I'm just giving my personal opinion. I don't care. I don't care who knows my name after I die. I don't even think about my death. I'm not thinking about what's someone going to say about me 200 years from now. I don't care about legacy. I think my kids, I'm going to teach them to think on their own feet where they don't need my legacy. I'm not going to teach my kids to want my generational wealth or whatever you guys call it. I don't believe in that. Like, my kids are going to grow up to be their own men and their own women. They're not going to be like, Dad left us generational wealth and legacy. No. I'm not going to. Why would I screw my kids like that? My parents didn't leave me generational wealth or legacy. It's because they were dealing with their own life. I'm dealing with my own life. So when the time comes, they'll learn on their own. I'm not worried about by the way, it's just seeking validation, approval, all this stuff. Okay, let's watch. If you want to build legacy and generational wealth, all this stuff, right? Who are you going to confirm that you did it? Who with? Who do you run it by? You're 95 years old, you're about to die. What measurement what association or organization are you going to run your life by so they can measure if you've achieved legacy yet?
Like a legacy meter, right?
Yeah, like, is there someone
you've done enough? You've left a legacy.
Yeah, is there like a organization or institute that comes as you're not certified legacy owner? Like that, who? So now that I say that, you go, well, obviously there's nobody that you would go to. So then whose opinion is it really that you left something behind? Your own! Okay. So if it's your own opinion, first of all, don't depend on other people's opinion. Because the last thing you want is your life, your purpose of life, being left in the people's hands of their opinions of what you did.
Yeah.
What? I don't care what you guys think I did or not did in my life. I don't care. You know whose opinion I care about? Mine. So when I'm dying at 95, I will, whether I left a legacy for this world or not, or my company or whatever, it doesn't matter what happened. I've already made up my mind. Now, by the time I'm 95, 100, whatever I'm dying, I'm going to sit there and be like, I had a great life. That's my legacy. I was a living example of what it was. And whoever I touched along the way in my life that changed their life in the way they think, that is, I don't need credit for that. Nor could you ever claim credit for that, because that's a ripple effect. I don't need anybody to know. Only me and God knows what I did. So the very essence of even desiring legacy, wealth, all this stuff, like on such a big level, it's like beyond your even thinking. And you know that. Like inside you're like, I don't even know what that means. It's just really a deep-seated insecurity. It's an inferiority complex. You want to prove something to yourself or to others. So we'll stop that. Like free yourself now. Like you have peace right now, knowing you don't need anyone's approval or opinion of whether whatever you did in your life was good or not. So get out of this legacy and wealth and generational and all these big words. Stop. Just focus on a goal now. Work on it. That's it, man. Work on bettering yourself so that next year you're 10 times better than you were the year before. And your opinion is going to be your own honest opinion of yourself, whether you did that or not, is all that matters. It doesn't matter who says what. You know what I mean? You ever go into a family and the family goes, oh, you've gained weight. Or, oh, you look skinnier. And meanwhile, you're like, I did the exact opposite. Like your eyes, obviously, your eyes are gaining weight, not mine.
That's how black families greet you usually. You
Yeah.
gained weight, you lost weight.
Yeah, my family's the same. Like, you walk in, I'm like, oh, you look bigger, or you look smaller. And I'm like, I've been working out for 7 months. I know I gained weight, like muscular. But they're like, oh, you look skinny. And I'm like, listen, at the end of the day, you can see I look like I've turned Japanese. And to me, I'm like, all right, that's what you see.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter anymore. But imagine, like, people, they share their opinions like it's a penny. You don't need anyone's opinions, guys. Okay? Just build your business, build your life, build your career, live life for yourself. I read this from Napoleon Hill. Live your own life. I'm reading Grow Rich with Peace of Mind. He literally keeps saying, live your own life. And you know what else he says? Very, very powerful saying. He has an entire chapter explaining how he grew wise in his older years. Because Grow Rich with Peace of Mind, he wrote it in his 80s.
Yeah, okay.
So it was the last book he ever wrote. So at that time, after everything, he wrote Think and Grow Rich, Law of Success, Outwitting the Devil, all these things, right?
Yes.
Now he's like this old, wiser man. He's just like calmer and just writing this last book. And he even explains how, like, spiritually, the command to write this book came to him from the Himalayan mountains. It's actually crazy. You gotta read the book. It makes me want to go to the Himalayan mountains now in my lifetime to, like, see what's there. Yeah, man, he was talking about, you would love it. He was talking, like, he had telepathy, like a voice, telepathically enter his mind when he was during a sick time of his. He was a little sick in the hospital. And because he had nothing distracting him, a voice came in his mind and pretty much told me you have to write this book. Great, bro. At this point, I know Napoleon was crazy, but I'm in. I've submitted.
He sold you.
I'm in. I want to be crazy. I want to be crazy like that because clearly he's gone beyond physical logic. But point is, at that time, he's writing this book, this whole chapter about how he says there's one thing to himself his whole life, and it's made him peaceful. Ultimately, nothing matters. Ultimately, nothing matters. And he explains it. The whole chapter he spends to explain ultimately nothing matters. He goes, nothing matters that's good, nothing matters that's bad.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the things that stress you out and you think are a problem, they don't matter. Ultimately, the things that you thought were accomplishments and that made up who you are as a person, they don't matter. And I'm sitting there, like, listening. I'm like, wow. And you know what he did as I heard that? I was hearing it and I was, like, reading it and I'm like, and then all the things I thought I was stressing about, even, like, that day or that week or that month, I'm like, so what? Literally nothing matters.
Yeah.
You're just kind of doing it to do it because you like it. And I'm like, we have sales numbers we want to hit on a company. And, like, we hit really good sales numbers, but I want to hit higher. And I'm like, but ultimately, that doesn't matter. Whether I do it or not, happens next month or not, happens this week or not, it doesn't matter. And you know what it does? He goes, every night when I went to bed and I reminded myself, ultimately, nothing matters. Every single time, I slept with peace of mind.
Yeah.
And he goes, at the end of the day, money's important, and money helps you get all the other riches in life, like a lot of the other riches in life, because it gives you options and freedom from all the crap and restrictions. But he goes, peace of mind is the ultimate wealth. And if you remember that ultimately nothing matters, you always have peace of mind. Because nothing gets to you, whether it's good or bad. Remember we talked about this like 20 episodes ago?
Yeah.
Don't accept compliments. Because when you accept compliments, you also accept criticisms. If you accept opinions, period, you're now vulnerable to people's opinions, whether it's good or bad. And this is kind of the same thing. Like, ultimately, don't let good things that happen in your life or bad things that happen in your life get to you. It doesn't matter. I make $10 million tomorrow. So what? What does it really matter? It doesn't matter. There's people that made 100. There's people that made 10,000. It doesn't really matter. We're all just doing a bunch of things randomly in sequences of orders and putting meanings on it and pretending like it means something. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, yeah.
And remember, we long time ago, we used to say we read, nothing has meaning but the meaning that you give it.
Absolutely. Yep.
Nothing has meaning but the meaning that you give it.
A long time ago.
Long time ago. I'm like, that's so true. Nothing has meaning but the meaning that you give it. So ultimately, nothing is meaningful. Everything's meaningless, ultimately. And your freedom and playfulness of life is to just give meaning to things the way you want it. And the problem is, most of you listening, what you do is you give terrible meanings to things. And then your life is bad. And then you think it's someone else's fault, something else's fault. It really is just the meaning you're giving to things. It's making you have a bad experience. So, I'm sorry, I just ranted on. What do you think? We got comments?
We have Guzman, so basically I'm just going to sum it up.
Yeah.
He said for the web design, it was more importantly, it was money motivated. It was because of money that he wanted to become a web designer.
Yeah.
But the reason that his true passion is to become a coach. But he's like, how could I find the perfect way? What's the perfect way that I could become a coach without spending too much money on courses?
Yeah. Oh, no. You got to coach yourself out of that crap. What you just said, terrible. No. How can I ultimately achieve my goals without paying the price for it? I don't know, man. You go find the expert that figured that science out and let me know if it works. You pay the price for everything you want.
Absolutely.
He also said,
what else is there?
And I feel like I need to become successful in order to become a coach. Is that true?
Yeah, it's a good limiting belief. I'll cover that. But first I want to say this. You only say, how do I become a coach without spending money? It's because you don't have money. If you had money, you wouldn't say that, would you? Here's what I realized. People with no money, I call them broke. I used to be broke. I don't think you're poor. You're poor if your mind is poor. Poor means your mind is poor. Like, you think like a poor person. And there's no such thing as a poor person, but you think like poor. Like, you let poorness.
Yeah, as if you have no resources.
Yeah, like you have no resources. Yeah. Like you're a victim. You don't have enough, and everything is tough. That's a poor thinking mindset. Broke just means you have no money. I've met very rich people that are broke. Very rich people. I can tell in their attitude they're going to make their money back. Okay. If you had money, Usman, you wouldn't be wondering how to do this without money. Don't you think it's more morally right to go make money then? Yeah, that's like me sitting down and be like, I don't have money to pay my bills or like feed my family tonight. How can I rob a bank without getting caught? That's what you're doing. You're not solving the real problem here. You're trying to find a shortcut without the integrable way of doing things because your circumstance hasn't let you do it the right way. Change the circumstance. Don't try to find the wrong way of doing something.
Yeah.
I don't have money to pay my car payments this month. How do I steal it without getting caught? How do I learn how to be a coach and build a business without paying someone to learn from them? What?
Yeah.
So we can steal the information? No, I'm going to do it on my own. Who in this world ever did anything on their own and got there without any help? Nobody. Okay, so now successful. No, success is an opinion. Like, what do you think is successful matters. I used to think being successful was being a billionaire. Very stupid mindset I used to have because of a mentor of mine. Then I changed it to, what am I really good at in my life that I know I do better than others because I'm good at it. When I started as a coach, it was my emotions. I was very good at being optimistic in the worst situations. I was very good at taking terrible things and turning it into good things. I was very good at being completely persevering with my optimism, even though everyone lost faith. I had a lot of confidence in bad situations. I'm like, that's a really valuable skill, and people don't know how to do it. I'm going to focus on that as a coach. So my coaching in the beginning was helping people go through bad things. So something bad would happen, some adversity would happen, and I created a whole system on how to change their mind and their emotion about it and become resourceful. That became my coaching. I wasn't rich. I had no money when I started my coaching business because I didn't need to. I wasn't teaching anyone to make money.
Yep.
I was teaching people how to master their own fears, their own emotions, become confident in bad situations. That was my thing. So you can sit down at 17 and go, what have I done up until this age that is really good that I know I can help others with? What do people genuinely ask you advice for? And that could be the starting point of your coaching. You'll grow, obviously, over time. But you don't need to get rich or successful, have these things so that you're qualified. That's not even true at all. Tony Robbins started when he was 19. He was literally living in a broken down apartment. He had zero. He was overweight. Nothing. He first changed his own life, though. He changed the circumstance. He lost weight. He went out and made money. He learned more, so he got himself out of ignorance. And then he helped other people with the thing he learned. And then he made money. And that's when you see him now like this. So you don't have to be successful is a subjective. Let's also throw that word out of the way. Like, I think it's such a overly rated word. Success? Like, what does that even mean? I woke up this morning and I took a shower. That's successful. That was my goal. But like, you know what I mean? Like, what, is that success? So that's my one answer. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I agree.
Oh, I thought you were just doing something with your tongue. Okay. That's my answer there. But my real thing is, what's the first question he asked before he said successful as a coach? The thing of like, how do I make money without spending? How do I get something without spending? Go make money. Is that not the logical answer? You know what blows my mind?
Read online, research. Yeah.
You know what blows my mind, man? You know what blows my mind? People like have problems and they try to fix it without solving the actual. I don't get that.
Yeah.
Solve the actual problem. You're saying I don't have money to pay for course. Go make money to pay for help. Is that not? You're like, I want to buy a new car. Okay. But I don't have money. Okay? So I'm going to ride a bike. No! Wrong thought process. I don't have money to buy a car, so I'm going to ride a bike. What? Do you want a car? Yes. Why don't you go learn and make money to buy a car? Is it not that... is it just me? I don't know. Like, now you're here. I could ask someone else. Is that not logically...
Yeah, it is absolutely logical. Especially with being a coach, right? Like... There's not many ways that you can be a coach without paying the price. You got to pay the price for the certification. Maybe you don't want to get certified, sure, but you got to pay the price to get clients in the door. You know, maybe you start obviously doing coaching for free, but at some point you have to ask people for money. Can you, with integrity, ask a customer to pay for your services if you were not willing to go out and pay for them in the beginning?
How weird would that feel? Pay me $500 for a coaching session. Okay, but in your mind, you're like, I've never paid anyone for anything. If you haven't hired your own coach, you can't be anyone else's coach, first of all. Second of all, if you haven't learned how to produce results in your own life first, with that stuff you learn, and then in other people's lives for free, you have no right charging people for money. Think of it like this. I have a program and I help coaches build their business, but oftentimes I find myself helping them become a better coach before they build their business because they themselves need work.
Yeah.
Odd. But it's
coaches
fine.
need coaching.
Yeah, coaches need coaching. I have my mentors and coaches, like, hands down. I'm not even, like, I'm living what I'm teaching you guys. Watch this. When I talk to them, I go, well, you want to do this thing for other people? Yeah, but I'm having a tough time. Okay. Have you done it for yourself yet? Yes. I'm like, all of it, honestly? Well, no. So go do that. My first answer is, like, why don't you make yourself your first client? So, Usman, you want to be a coach. Is it your real passion? I'm going to challenge you on this. Great. So take everything you know about coaching and do it on yourself first. When you come back on the next show, tell me what you've actually done. What have you done from last week till this week that has massive progress in your life and has made you propel in life, in all areas of your life, from your own intelligence that you're trying to sell in a business to other people? You have zero right. Everyone has zero right to be guiding other people in their life if their own life is not guided.
Absolutely.
Zero right. I made sure that before I do a seminar or I coach somebody, I know what I'm doing works and I did it on myself first. I'll give you a tiny example. What time is it?
52.
I'll give you a tiny example. One day, I learned this. I was new to coaching. I learned this emotional mastering stuff. So I learned some things where I can change my state, meaning I change my emotions. So if I'm in a very bad situation, I feel terrible, I can turn around to feeling good. I learned this couple new techniques. One day I'm trading. I used to trade money on the stock market. I lost 80% of my account. I felt the worst pit feeling in my stomach ever. Like, I felt like there was a hole in my stomach gushing my blood out. It was terrible. I felt like crap because it wasn't even my money. I lost someone else's money and most of it in one trade. So I watched as my money just depleted in my account. I'm like, oh my God. And I was like 20 years old. I was saying they're like, that's more money I've ever lost and ever made.
Yeah.
So what did I do immediately? I'm like, well, I learned these new estate management things. Let me use it now. So I get in the shower and I start doing all this stuff in my mind and my body and I get myself to feel better. And by the time I got out of the shower, I said something I never said to myself before. And since that day, I've been saying it every single day. I said something when I boosted my energy, I made myself feel better, I changed my entire body and physiology and emotion about it, and I walked out, I'm like, today's going to be the best day of my life. I'm like, ooh, that's a bold statement. Now, it's really hard to say that because most people are like, how would you make your life the best day of your life today? To me, I'm like, I just started my morning terribly. It feels like it's the worst feeling I've ever felt. I'm going to make sure that today is going to be the best day of my life. That kind of confidence came through me, even though that terrible thing just happened. Guess what happened that day? It became the birth of Reborn. Because I ended up doing a bunch of things in my day differently because I was more motivated with my emotion. And at the end of the day, I ended up going to an event where I would never have gone because I was trying to do something different, trying to get out of my comfort zone because I felt terrible. I went to this event, and at that event is where I met the person who helped me build the beginning of Reborn. Now, am I rich? No. Do I have a functioning company? No, at that time. Did I have any account? I still lived at home with my mom, my dad, like, that's it, right? But I did something very well that most people don't know how to do. I turned a terrible adversity into a great situation, and then I benefited out of it. I'm like, that's a good skill. So you know what I did? I chose 3 people after that to go coach for free to help them do exactly the same things. I took the terrible things that have happened in life and turned them into good things in their life. And they walked away feeling better about it, and they felt more motivated, they made new decisions, and their life changed. Then I built a seminar teaching the process I had, and how I learned how to change my state, which was actually what I learned from somebody else. Do you see how the evolution happened as a coach? I first made myself the client. And until I produced real results in my life, see, look, coaching certification doesn't do that for you. Education doesn't do that for you. The application of what you learned with results produced does that for you. Just stop worrying about all this crap. Go make your own life an example of what you want to do for others. That's integrity. And then money will come to you because people need your help. Okay? So this, and if you have a money problem right now, I mean, you're young. It's kind of a lot of pressure at 17. But you know what? I met a 17-year-old. I trained him. He was closing $1,000 deals on the phone. I trained him in sales. So go learn sales, man. He was 17 when I met him. His name is Zach. Incredibly talented.
Shout out Zach.
Shout out Zach if he's ever watching this. I trained him. He was closing $1,000 programs on the phone for me. This was 2 years ago. He was making money. I was giving him like $200 a sale.
Yep.
20%, right? He was getting my schedule. He closed 5 of them. He sold $5,000 on the phone for me. He made $1,000. It's more money he ever needed. Okay? My point of this is this to you. It's just a limiting belief, man. It's like, oh, but no one's going to hire me. No, man. That's not true. Do you want it bad enough? Go out there and figure it out. Google it, YouTube it, ask people, do whatever you can. Don't stop until you figure it out. That's how you achieve things in life. Yeah.
He has more comments. Basically, I'll just sum it up.
Yeah.
What he's saying is that how you started off. You first got, you went to Tony Robbins' seminar.
Yeah.
And you got his book. And then all the things that you learned from his book, you went straight and you implemented.
Yeah.
That's how you started.
That was in the beginning. The network marketing was like my real start. But when coaching, yes.
Coaching, that's what he's saying.
Okay.
So he's saying that, next question. He's saying that, what's the perfect way for me to start right now, but at such a low cost? Like books.
Buy one book. One book. Learn it back to back, cover to cover. Do it in your life. Make sure the book produces real results in your life. Then go and share what you learned from that book to others until you have been deemed an expert because you have learned more, paid more price, spent more effort on that one piece of curriculum than anyone else has. So when you meet them, you have a lot to share with them, and it works for them and it works for you. A business will miraculously appear in your life. That's exactly what I did. And the book cost $27. The seminar just got me to overcome my objections to why I thought I couldn't be a coach. But I'm just going to save you the time and just tell you straight right now. It's just in your head. It's just in your head. So action will overcome that fear of am I enough? No. And people sometimes ask me do people ask you? Do people ever wonder you're so young, how are you giving life advice? I'm like, first of all, I don't give life advice. I spend diligent time getting really good at specific skills, and I know how to do those specific skills better than most. So I get paid for how good I am at what I do, and I help other people do that and teach them how to do it. Second of all, no one ever challenges me on my age. Because the way I show up, the person would feel very odd to even challenge my character. The level of certainty I have in myself and the confidence that I developed through hard work every single day on myself and convincing myself and proving to myself that I can do this, that is unchallenged when I walk into a room with someone. Even if they're severely more experienced than I am, older than I am, even have more money than I am, my confidence My peace of mind, my character, my mind is unchallenged. In the last 4 years, maybe I've had a handful of times where someone almost tried to challenge my age. By the end of my programs, they were coming crying and hugging me saying, I'm so sorry for doubting you. Okay? Here's the thing, bro. You know what's the secret thing? That one secret thing that overcomes all this crap, all the limitations, the fears, the worries, the doubts, the odds against you, the people's opinions, all this crap. You know what's the one thing that overcomes everything? You wanna know what it is? Results. Results are the greatest insurance policy against all this crap. Results shut up people who don't believe in you.
Yep.
Results shut up your own mind and doubt when you're doing your work. Results earns you all the credibility. Results gets you the money. Results gets other people the results. Results. Why don't you write in big letters, results, on a piece of paper, tape it on your wall and look at it every day, and just focus on your life on producing results. For yourself, for others, for everyone around you, for your own goals, produce results. And there's no way you can produce results without actual work. Real application, real implementation, every single day, persistence, consistency, dedication. You can't produce results. Results will never allow anyone to doubt you. Results is like truth. Truth can't be challenged. I say the law of gravity exists. No matter how much you make fun of me or the law of gravity, it doesn't matter because the law of gravity will still exist. Nature doesn't care about your opinion. Nature exists anyways. And results is a law of nature. It's called the law of compensation by Emerson. And it just specifically says in summarized sentence, for every action has its own reward. For every action has its own reward and its own consequences. Pretty much what it's saying. There is nothing in this world that doesn't yield results when you take action on it. So results is a part of law of nature. Producing actual results in your life, internally and externally, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters if you have results. The only time you're insecure about yourself, your business, your ideas is when you have no results. And you're just talk, no walk. I just said that twice. Make sense? Go get results and no one will say anything. If you're in a sales team and you're the youngest one there, if you make more money than everyone else and sell more, trust me, you're not the youngest one there anymore. If you run a business and you're making good money and you have happy clients, no one's going to say anything about your business anymore. In your families, most of your families are going to bring you down because they don't believe that you can do something greater than what they've done. And this is just, unfortunately, the way most dysfunctional families raise their kids. They don't think they could do much more, so they think, why would my kid be able to do more than me? Mm-hmm. Maybe they want them to do more than them, but they don't believe how that could happen because they've never done it. Results will turn them into believers. Your lack of results will keep them as non-believers, as criticizers. But results will turn them into fans. I mean, look, I was like 21 when I started Reborn. But I had 50 people in a room sitting there for 7 hours watching me speak. Guess what every single person in that room was thinking? Oh, he's so young, but he has 50 people in the room. There's something going on here. Get what I'm saying? And make sure you are your first result. Do not ever skip that part, man. You are going to live a lie. You will have imposter syndrome. You'll feel like a fraud if you do not make yourself a first result on every level. You understand what I'm saying? You make yourself the first result on every level. You fix every personal issue you have. Fix the money problem you have. And then you will never have these doubts or fears. Make sense? Make sense?
We have a comment.
Cool.
What's the best way to produce results?
Action? I don't know. Do you have an answer?
Action.
This is rocket science. Best way to produce results. Learn something new and go. Yo, Isaac, could you zoom in on me real quick on the Facebook? Here's a big thing I used to learn. Whoo! It came into my face real quick. Here's a funny thing I learned very quickly in my sales journey because I was learning new sales things every day. Mm-hmm. Here's a cool thing I started learning. I'm sitting there. I'm like, most people learn a lot of new things. Where's the action? I was so. Were you not astonished?
Yeah.
How many people learn things to do nothing with it?
Yeah.
I was actually. To me, luckily, that was an unnatural thing. I'm like sitting there like, how did you just learn this new thing? Like it literally just said in the book, always find the good in everything. Literally, it just said it right there. You just read it. Like 5 minutes later, something happens and you're negative about it. You just read it right there. You didn't see that? And I'm like, I actually call people out. When I was starting out, I used to call people out. I had energy and time. I'd be like, didn't you just read this or learn this or say this yesterday? Like, where is that now?
Yep.
And they go, well, this is different. I'm like, it's never different. And you know when I realized this? How much time we got there?
A minute.
You know when I realized this was...
25 seconds.
By the way, in my life, I never had someone that actually, like, integrally lived what they learned. It was the first time I ever learned this was this. You good? It's a little picture of action. First time I ever learned this was this. I'm going to finish off. How many seconds I got there?
1 minute.
Okay. The first time I ever learned that this is truth is this. I was talking to Satish on the phone, my president of Thinking Youre, my mentor. I was just talking to him this morning. And he kept, over like a couple months of me getting to know him, he always rehearsed the same things to me from Thinking Youre. And I'm like, this guy actually always just refers back to the same curriculum. And here I am always thinking, if you learn something, it's going to apply, sometimes not. He's like always going back to the TGR principles. And he's like, are you doing this time? And I'm like, wow. He actually lives every day amongst what he learns.
Yeah.
That's when he showed me a physical example of someone who's living successfully. I'm like, I just need to do what I know and stop learning more stuff. Until you learn, so much and you've done so much, you've exhausted what you know, then you go and learn. Stop trying to learn more than you know. Stop trying to learn more than you do.
Yeah.
Just go do.
That's a trap.
Yeah, and that's my answer to you. We got 30 seconds there?
15.
15 seconds? For Instagram, we're just going to say bye now to you guys, and we're going to end off this comfortably. But love you guys so much. Usman, ask more questions at AskCarmen.com. We'll see you soon, okay? Next week, that's my challenge to you.
Yeah.
Bring me results. All right, so is that the last? I mean, there was more.
There's more questions, but
More questions?
I think we got to wrap up. Yeah.
Yeah, we do got to wrap up. What time is it? Yeah, we're past 2. Look at that.
Mm.
Huh. I would love to know, because we're on YouTube now. I would love to know what your response is to Usman at 17. You'll leave it the way it is. All right. What would your response be to Usman at 17 with everything you said? Like, you just heard my opinion,
Yeah.
obviously. But, like, do you have anything I missed or what you would think?
No, I think you got it. You hit it on the head, right? You actually just need to start learning, right? Start learning, take it slow. I think that you're thinking a little too far ahead, genuinely.
Yeah.
I would say the same thing about myself when I started when I was 19, that I was thinking too far ahead. You know, I wasn't thinking about today, tomorrow, and progressing day by day. I was thinking about when I was 25 or 35 and 45, and none of that stuff matters. It doesn't matter right now. What matters right now is you doing the work. Literally put your head down, do the work. If you want to think about money, the only thing I would say about money is save a little bit of it every month. Just decide, put a number, and save that. But that's the only thing that you should think about money right now. And apart from generating it, of course.
Yeah.
Think about generating, put your head down, do the work, skill by skill, book by book, and literally don't think, I learn one thing, put it into action. Learn one thing, put it into action. Don't be someone who's we call them seminar junkies, right? Maybe you're not going to go to a seminar, but don't be one of those people who's just taking in all this information and knowledge, but then your actual life looks like crap. Don't be one of those people. Don't start that at 17, that you just need to be learning, and not doing, right? It's learn, do, save 10%. Learn, do, save 10%. And then just keep rocking like that.
You even have that quote right there. When you don't know what to do,
You learn more. Yeah, so if you have a lack of know-how, learn. If you have a lack of action, do. I'll leave you with this. If you're watching this and you have an Instagram bio, a Facebook bio, a LinkedIn bio, any bios anywhere, any type of branding, where you're using big words and big goals,
Yeah.
and words that like are beyond like your own circumstance, but your own life is still the same way it's been for the last 10, 15, 25 years, whatever. Delete all your bios. I'm telling you how to have peace of mind tonight. Delete all your bios. Throw away all your, custom-made suits that you paid for, and you have no money left. I'm being serious with you guys. If you're a man listening to me, if you're a woman listening to me, understand my heart when I'm saying this. All of the crap you do, if your life is still and deep down inside, you're watching this, you're like, yeah, he's right. I still have money issues. I still got family issues. I still got love issues. If you still got issues, delete all your bios. Put away your fancy clothes where you wear it to make yourself look like you're better than you are when you go out. I'm being serious with you. I've been there. Delete all the big posts you make about personal development, all this stuff. Just stop talking to people. Sit down, grab a piece of paper and a pen, and make a declaration to yourself, like a vow. Sit down and say, I will change my circumstance. It is crap. Here's where I'm at. I hate it. And I'll never again live like this. And keep writing that down over and over. I'm going to change my circumstance. I'm going to change this. No more talking about legacy, generational. That doesn't apply to everyone. I'm just talking about the ones who are having a terrible life right now. Like you just secretly having a terrible life no one else knows. Legacy, generational wealth, spiritual stuff, universe.
Millionaire, billionaire.
The words
world
billionaire
changer.
and million. Oh my God. Stop saying all of this. Stop saying all of it. Take it off your social media and stop posting about it. Here's the reason why. For as long as you keep pretending to be this, you'll never make the time to actually go become it. And for as long as you pretend, you will steal the time from your day to go and actually become that. And here's why I say this out of my heart. I want you to become those things. I want you to have legacy and all these beautiful things. But it does not come if you're spending most of your time pretending to be it already.
Yep.
So just be honest with yourself. Delete everything. I used to have someone that used to wear 100 wristbands on his wrist, representing all the different seminars he's gone to. I told him to take it off and throw it out. Because his own life was not a result of all the showing that he's gone to all these seminars. It's embarrassing because his wrist was just as a hypocritical showcase of, look, my life is crap, but look at all these things I've been to. You insult these brands because these brands don't tell you to live your life that way. Make your life the wristband. Make your life the branding. Make your life your reputation. Many of you need to hear this strong. Do not try to get away with a life that isn't even fully what you want it to be and pretend you're something to others. Coaching is not just a business or a job, it is a privilege. And you better have serious integrity because when someone comes to you as a coaching client, they're trusting you with their money, their time, their energy, and their subconscious mind for you to influence them so they have a better life after speaking with you. If your own life is still having issues, you have no right to be coaching somebody. So you don't need to know. You don't need to be rich or a billionaire or a trillionaire or have Maseratis, and you don't.
No.
You don't have to have rock hard abs to be a coach. Now, it's better if you're not overweight because it only shows your lack of discipline in your fitness and health.
Yeah.
But you don't need to be chiseled body. Okay, you don't. But at the very least, have a life that's healthy, balanced in some sense, and has peace in it. And until you have that, you should delete all your bios. And by the way, when you do, you don't even want to put those bios up anyways. I don't care whether you know I've spoken in different countries or all this stuff.
Just put work in progress.
Honestly, just be honest.
Just be honest.
And stop giving advice to people. Stop talking and start listening more. Because as you keep talking about what you think you know to others, first of all, the ones that actually know more than you could teach you something, they never get a word in. Second of all, what happens over time is, just adjust the camera, bro. Don't worry about it. What happens over time is you just start repelling the people that are good, and only the other losers want to come hang out with you because everyone wants to talk about it. So thank you for coming to this episode. I'm leaving you on a tough note. I'm leaving you on a tough note because I really want you to understand.
Tough love.
I want you to understand what it really takes. Yeah, it's fine. Guys, look, it happens. See what's happening with the
movie magic.
See that?
Wow.
Okay. Honestly, I'm gonna run with this. We're gonna keep this in the episode for everyone on Facebook. Our backdrop just dropped. Our backdrop dropped. It's fine.
Backdrop dropped.
Our backdrop dropped. That's deep. So now you're watching this. Obviously, like this. Listen, I'm gonna use this. Y'all are gonna learn a lesson right now. Very similar to this backdrop. Don't just be stuck up, pretending to be something you're not. Make sure your life holds up. Not with just one piece of tape.
Yes!
But it stands up because it has its own stand. Okay? Be very opposite to this backdrop right here. This backdrop is a fraud, clearly, because look what just happened. So if you want to succeed in your life, now we look like we're floating in the middle of the sky. If you want to succeed in your life, okay, first of all, prepare everything a lot better than this backdrop was prepared because clearly this shouldn't happen in the middle of live events. But it's okay because stuff happens. Make your life an example, okay? Don't put on a facade. You get what I'm saying? That's all I'm trying to say. So thank you for coming to this episode to Ask Armin, Clear Talk Show. I'm your host, Armin Shaffi. This is your co-host,
Jeanette Oduro.
And this is the #1 show for entrepreneurs who need clarity, where we just give you the real talk and get you to the clear talk. That was deep.
Ooh, brother.
All right, if you want to ask your questions so you can get your questions answered on Armin.com, go to askarmin.com. We'll answer your questions live on the show. If you're on Facebook, share this with everybody so they could have a great laugh at the ending of this. And if you're on Instagram, you're not seeing us anymore, so I love you anyways. I'm sure you could feel my energy. Love you guys so much. We'll see you every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And go on and make the rest of your week the best of your week.